Thank you, thank you. It's not being moved there. Yeah. Are you almost there?
Okay, if I could have everyone's attention, let's get into class for the day. Okay, are we present? Are we ready? Okay, so we are gonna wrap up our discussion about soil today. We did the soil lab, right? So we analyzed the properties, we separated the layers, right? We read about and observed like the composition of soil and its properties. So now we want to tie it all together with the bigger themes of our class, right? Talking about Earth systems, how they're interconnected, and then of course thinking about what is soil, right? And so I have 3 warm-up questions for you. I'm gonna hit the timer and then we'll discuss them after that. So I want you all to, basically discuss with your partner right now these 3 questions. This is just our class. No, it's not
I gave you 2 pieces. You want more, whore? I give you one right now. You keep
It's kind of dirty.
That's bigger than candy. Be careful.
Like how you were being with the door.
Okay, you don't want it. Okay, you don't want
You reflect my personality.
Why don't you think if they just get it?
I didn't mean that.
Mirror. Mirror. Espejo. Mirror. Mirror. Espejo. Like mirror, you look in a mirror to see your reflection. Mirror cat.
Was that worth it?
I gave him makeup on wall.
Add two together.
Yeah.
That's yours. Right? Where's your idea?
All right, I'm gonna stop the timer here because I sense our discussions have gone elsewhere. And obviously you all are incredibly bright. So I'm sure these 3 questions did not take you long to discuss. So who would like to start our discussion right now? Simply enough, what is soil? All right, I like that. That's a good start. But what was it another? What was it? Okay, so organic matter is a good start, but then more specifically than that, what is organic matter?
It's like a mixture of a lot of stuff, like gas, minerals, and I don't know what else.
Yeah, I like that because it's more than just broadly speaking organic matter. It is mineral particles. There's gases in there, many elements, water, air, right? Microorganisms, right? Tons and tons of living things. So soil is it's on Earth's crust, right? It's like the outermost layer of Earth's crust. Y'all with me? So soil's quite literally the outer most layer of Earth's crust. But then beyond that, soil can also be perceived as an ecosystem, right? Because if there's tons of microorganisms in the soil and those organisms interact, then by our definition, right, the soil can also be perceived as an ecosystem. So what soil really is it's a very complex, interconnected web, right? So how is it formed? Where does it come from? So we, in our soil lab, right, we walked on over to the campus garden and we didn't really have a lot of native soil available to us, so we ended up using potting soil or landscape soil. But in the natural world, where does soil come from? From the ocean? Erosion. Yes, erosion, absolutely. Erosion, and then along with erosion, there's another word that I'm looking for that has to do with the breaking down of things. It's usually coupled with erosion when we're talking about weathering, yes. Is that what you said? Yeah, weathering. So weathering and erosion are the ways that we describe how, either through physical or chemical weathering, rocks, mainly, the little pieces get broken off, and then through erosion they travel, they get deposited, right? So in the natural world, all the bits and pieces from all the different places on Earth, especially the rocks, are weatherized and eroded. And then lastly, and it's kind of a broad question, but why is soil important? Right? It's just dirt, right? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
What was that, Victor?
It helps plants grow.
It helps plants grow, sure. So healthy soils mean healthy plants, and then what does that mean?
Vegetation.
Okay, oxygen, yes. Ecosystem services, vegetation, right? Which more ecosystem services, right, through photosynthesis, but then thinking about going up the energy pyramids or looking at food chains, right? Healthy soils means healthy plants, means healthy all other organisms up the food chain, right? Any other thoughts on why soil is important? Food, right? Yeah, like said another way, right? Without healthy soil, what are we gonna eat, right? All the animals that we eat are dependent on healthy soils, and obviously the plants that we eat too. So yes, food. Any other thoughts?
Habitat, maybe.
Habitat.
Animals that live underground.
Sure. Like so Right, whether you live in the soil or you depend on things that grow from the soil, yes, healthy soils ultimately are important for having healthy habitats, absolutely. Okay, let's add to our discussion by watching this video. Perhaps it'll give us some more perspectives to consider. And then after this video, we'll revisit that question one more time. Hit the lights real quick. Okay, are we ready? Let me know when you're ready.
Soil is one of the most underrated and little understood wonders on our fragile planet. Here's why. Far from being lifeless dirt, it's estimated that in a single gram of soil, there could be as many as 50,000 species of microscopic organisms, or microorganisms. And in 1 teaspoon of soil, there are more microorganisms than there are people on the earth. But much of what lies beneath in this hidden and deep universe is still alien to us. Despite being literally under our feet, humans have so far only identified a tiny fraction of the extraordinary life teeming underground. But these animals and microorganisms provide an invaluable role. Millions of years of evolutionary competition have led the microorganisms to produce antibiotic compounds to fight their neighbors. And these compounds form the basis of many of the antibiotics used by us humans. We literally make medicine from our soil. No one knows how many new treatments could be lying under our feet, waiting to be discovered. One of the most special creatures living in soil is the earthworm. Darwin was fascinated by them and said, "It may be doubted if there are any other animals which have played such an important part in history." Due to their importance in making and sustaining soil, earthworms journey down and around, creating breathing holes like lungs in the soil. This creates space for plant roots to grow and keep soil alive. Under the soil, there are also vast and intricate webs of fungal threads. Plants and fungi need each other to thrive, and so they do a deal. Fungi can't capture carbon dioxide to grow like plants can, but they're better than plants at mining soil for nutrients, so they trade. Plants give fungi carbon to grow, and fungi give plants nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus. It's a mutually beneficial relationship, and just one example of the interconnected ecosystem we're all part of. Plant matter decays and provides food for microbes. They provide food for worms. Worms are food for birds, and so on. Soil provides us humans with almost everything we eat. But it's not just about what soils can do for us. It's important we value, appreciate, and crucially protect soil for a whole load of other reasons too. Think about this for a moment. It takes more than 100 years to build just 5 millimeters, half a centimeter of soil, but just moments to destroy through chemical contamination, urbanization, landslides, erosion, and more. Some soil is really ancient, dating back millions and millions of years. The oldest soil on Earth is thought to be in South Africa and dates back 3 billion years. In the UK, our soil is around 15,000 years old, and it formed after the last ice age. Soil is also a really valuable carbon store, capturing carbon, locking it away in stable forms deep underground. It stores 3 times as much carbon as all the plants on Earth combined, including trees. But because it grows so slowly, we need to protect what we have. We are not succeeding. We know many of the problems. Intensive farming is one of them. It releases carbon from our soils, and we're losing soil 50 to 100 times faster than it's able to rebuild. In Europe, 60 to 70% of soils are thought to be unhealthy. And in croplands in the UK, in less than 30 years from the end of the 1970s, we lost more than 10% of the carbon the soil had stored for us. And since then, well, we just don't know. Because in many countries, there's little data on soil. It's poorly protected and regulated. We grow on it, build in it, build from it. It filters and cleans our waters, reduces flooding, and regulates our atmosphere. It's one of the most biodiverse habitats on Earth and a vital part of the nitrogen and carbon cycle on our planet. But the sad truth is, right now, soil hasn't enough champions fighting for it. We literally treat it like dirt. And yet, there is so much untapped potential, so much wonder, and so many secrets just waiting to be discovered in the ground beneath our feet. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, be sure to check out these videos next. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to get a notification each time we upload it.
Okay, so everyone feels so inspired now, right? So, back to our warm-up questions here. Is there anything that anyone would like to add after watching that video? Any other thoughts? You all had named a lot of the points that the video brought up already, right? Just making that connection, like, to the simple food chain. But going forward, as we learn about Earth's other systems, right, as we get ready to talk about the atmosphere and watersheds and these other bigger weather events, healthy soils are part of all of them. I really want to make the connection right now with soils and the atmosphere, and going forward we'll look at a lot of ways that healthy soils help stabilize the chemical composition of the atmosphere. Also, the ways that soils filter water provides an enormous ecosystem service that we rarely think about. And just the interaction of water in soil between the microorganisms. Obviously, you all made the connection that healthy soils mean healthy plants, and so then the way that water is filtered through plants. And then even as we phase into talking about different forms of pollution, soil is often the solution. Cool, so before we move on, I want to make sure that we're comprehending things, on the AP level. So I've assigned you your 4.2 and 4.3 questions. We'll take, let's see how much time we have left here. 53. We have almost 40 minutes, so let's take 15 minutes to do the questions. It's just 6 questions, and then we will spend the rest of class going over them. It's on AP Classroom. AP Classroom. Unit 4, yes. Yes, sir. Already. Yeah. Week 14, can you believe it?
Like the overall grade.
Right now I have 4 too.
I have a 4 right now.
You submitted all the work, right?
Intense.
And the one that you didn't get? You had like it's supposed to be that one or you got one?
it was just the rough draft.
She's
I
like,
never submitted.
I just used the
Yeah, I don't like that.
Oh, Spanish, yeah.
the more power the China.
You can follow yourself.
So these are like today and after I told the lectures, these are like
Like, it makes me like feel like.
but they keep
What's
like,
everyone
you put your
on?
assignment or anything, because the due dates are all like and during that
Oh, yeah.
and then we're like we're
It's good. Okay, Roger figured out how to put things correct. He studied, and it kept like making like noise, like, and the speakers pretty loud. Yeah. Okay, but it was pretty loud. And then we already told them once that
so then I was
like.
like okay I'm gonna stop
So Roger was just holding them, kept to everything and stuff. You're gonna have to take the button. It starts speaking like, I think it's Japanese. I was like,
Thank God it's for real. That's why.
how does it show home study speakers? That's just what you have to do. Ingenuity. Like you're great on ingenuity, that'll be your phone. What do you guys have? That's because we do it in order.
Oh, I checked my updated one. That's what I thought I said.
Proud of it.
I know, you know what you're saying, like. Do you remember?
Yeah, kind of.
What time of it? Number 34. It was like that right there. On the wall. It was on question number 43 or 44.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna lose the president. Starts at 34. When did the vacation?
Number 43 or 44.
Rob?
What's his last name?
Who was it? Like, bro. Is it like Rob? What president are we on right now? 30?
If anyone is feeling confused about any of the language, let me know.
Wow. Oh, don't play with her.
Oh, I do.
No, you did.
Oh, this is also a soil.
Yeah. You? No, you got it like that.
I'm a close.
Oh. Good job, like.
And I'm like, when you're talking about, like, she's talking about me, I'm like,
Who's your favorite president?
and I got my arms, but I just got on short with my friend.
Okay. We got about 7 minutes left. I only have a couple submissions, so let's get on it.
You're there first. Okay, bitch. I tried to. Look at it. Like it has its own money. Somewhere, why did you get it? I want to put that shit up. Oh my god, I want to
With the packet?
I got the copy.
Is your what?
I think it's like 3 things.
Why are you skinny?
Why'd you say it like that? No, because why'd you say it like that?
It's like how, like.
I stopped because like, I'm really
Me? Like, Texas?
Tamales como poquito.
And my daughter, like, it's a.
What am I good?
I don't like I like the McMuffin and I feel like
Y'all love that.
I like
I like that good, but like, that's good.
If I can get anything else,
Like I like
I'll
it,
get
but then
it.
like, y'all would always be like, I don't know.
I so never before quarantine they would put the breakfast on it. That's all I really love the breakfast. I like the
I understand her. I don't understand you.
the sandwich is nice. Because it's chicken
Not like that. No, the last one.
That's like eating your own bag. You know the lady people ask me, and they look at her like, the other way.
Y'all, I have like 3 or 4 submissions, and I hear lots of talking that's not related to this. So there's 4 minutes left. Please give this your best focus so I can have your results in. Thank you.
have, I might have two. Then 1/3 of the meal was O sea, luego me enfermé. That's why. Oh, you're a liar. The lady? The lady. I thought it was a little girl. Like a little girl. They were like, and then a bunch of people came in after us. And I eat like 10, but don't let me. Yeah, that's how I got the gun.
14 right here. That's free food. That's not free fruit. But don't be like, oh, I forgot.
Wait, I think they're boiled.
And there's a Salvadorian. Are they Salvadorian? I don't think I still eat it, or I feel like this is good. I'm just kidding.
There's a lot of stuff in it. I like it. There's something that don't fucking eat it.
Are they Salvadorian?
The meat at that.
Are they Salvadorian tamales? With Salvadorian?
They just throw it.
Okay, those are
I said pollo, no?
Yeah.
Basic magic. I don't like it on that. They're not putting it on.
Okay, bring us.
Okay, are we ready to review? For the exactly half the class that did not submit their quizzes yet, what's up with that? Are we almost done? All right, well, I want to make sure we have enough time to go over it.
And I like it's like I'm dope. Like you're not supposed to eat. But like they just
There's no egg in it or anything.
they just make some big
It's
oil.
flour with some water. Yeah.
There's a bunch of shit in there. That's what makes it.
Oh, I stay eating that.
I think it's another just oil. And I think it's
They look good, you're like,
I have to eat it with grandma.
yeah.
So like never thought that was dry.
Oh,
They're
really?
really dry. They're like really dry.
I just,
I like how sweet they
I'll
are.
eat the rodeo.
I think it's like,
What are the red ones called?
it's with an M, no? Yeah.
Another bread.
No, but there's another, there's a tamale. this one, Mihaly.
What is the red one?
Yeah, it's like red.
Oh, red and red. That's the whole red all over.
Yeah, that's more. Red, but I think the sauce is just
I
spicy.
wouldn't get that. Oh, you don't like it?
No, I think that's the red one. Last time I went to red one, you remember how I got the red and the green one?
Oh, I only like the.
I love the green one. Which one? The green one? I feel like the red one is just raspberry. The red one is like dirt and wet. The dirt ones are like.
The green. You said you like the green one?
Yeah.
Is that one like more?
It's like not brown.
What is it? This one.
I'm gonna bring some tomorrow and you can try it for yourself. Or no, you're gonna bring some of this.
Oh, nice, nice.
Wait, I me too.
What if you guys don't like it?
We were not gonna say nothing, we were just gonna give you yourself instead. Just bring them.
I see it like a red super good.
Like my friends want some. We have a flat like tomorrow. If we like them, we're gonna want them.
You like those? Is it disgusting?
I just like the malice in general.
For real? You eat it? My wasn't coming but they were good. I taste it.
Like the grandmas are like oh, but we were such a well, just like sometimes she likes stuffed it with you. Okay, bring it
I'm
up.
okay. But like the potato, I don't know because I do.
Oh wait. So you want one?
You want for here?
Basically, when you're not just on the house.
It must have better be
That's why.
You're the one that judges it, and you know.
That's why I know how I am, so I think you're gonna do the same way I am.
We're not
Oh, you're worse.
like look, there's like different. I mean, no, this is my favorite one.
One of my guests was like fucking old chile. I'm like, so it's more
That's my
spicier.
breakfast one.
It's more spicier, no?
Yeah. I think the flavor from the sauce of the beans I love it.
I never tried the ground fish. Avoid the old concept.
I don't like the red. Because they're dry. I don't like how dry.
Did I do that a little bit? So she hears, but she just wants to like corn.
Like, it just tastes sweet. You
Alright, y'all, let's just go over it while we still have some time here. I have most of your responses. Just a reminder, when we do these questions, I appreciate up to a certain point that you take your time with it, but then after a certain point, you know, we don't need to take too long on them because we really just want to be able to go through the material. And also, as we get closer to the AP exam, I will start to time you faster and faster, right? Because we kind of want to practice our test taking and all that stuff. So it's not my favorite way or favorite like component of teaching, if you will, but I feel like it's part of my job here is to, you know, make sure you're well prepared for this exam, right? So anyway, let's go over the quizzes real quick. All right, let's start with the soil erosion. I'm sorry, soil formation and erosion quiz. Could I have someone please read question 1? Okay.
Students want to determine the impact of soil erosion from development of new houses. They plan to measure the density of species of algae growing along the bottom of the river that flows through still forested, both up and downstream of the town. Which of the following would be the best control sample for the study?
Okay, so which of the following would be the best control sample for the study?
D.
I heard A, I heard D. For those who answer, why those answers for those who did?
Clarify the response.
Because it's controlled water.
I kind of like saw it, but can I say it or no? Because like I already.
If you, like, if you can explain it.
Oh yeah, I can explain.
Okay, sure, sure.
So it's, I believe it was C because water collected downstream of the northern forest, since the water hadn't been contaminated by the construction zone at that point.
Aha, thank you. So yes, the answer is C, and that is the logic behind the answer, right? You have to have, you have to collect the water downstream, right? Otherwise, you won't have an accurate sample for what you're trying to measure. Okay, so great. C.
I can read it here.
So, same question, but this time it's asking what is the dependent variable in the study?
I think B again.
Okay. Why C? Did you want to try to explain, Star?
Yeah, but I can't see the text.
Oh, okay, okay. Take your time.
Let me see, you can move on. Never mind.
Okay, Victor, yeah, go ahead, bud.
Alright, so it is C because well, the dependent variable is what depends on the other factors.
Yes.
So because the dependent variable is dependent, the species of algae is dependent on how the what's it called, the water is affected, kind of. So
Yes. Yeah, it's dependent on the runoff from upstream, right? And the stuff that it brings with it. So, right, simply put, the dependent variable is dependent upon something else, right? And so in this case, in the context of the question, it's the species of algae that grows along the bottom of the river. So yes, the answer once again is C. Yeah, more than just getting the right answer, you know, I want you to be understanding it on this deeper, more comprehensive level. Okay, so then looks like same question for all three, but this time we're saying, you know what I mean, same scenario. And so the question this time is, which of the following explains the variable that would be the best for students to measure to determine the direct impact of soil erosion caused by the construction project on the river? This is a tough question. Does anyone want to take a shot at answering question 3?
Wait, it's asking like
So,
how can students measure or determine the impact of the soil erosion, right?
right, so what are they going to measure to, to actually measure the impact of soil erosion, right? Okay, please go.
It would be D, because turbidity, right? Turbidity?
Turbidity, yeah.
Turbidity, isn't it like safe for students to study it like in a lab where they study a matter like how do I say it? Like you know like those flasks
Yes.
like I don't know they study I don't know the word.
It's okay. I know what you're trying to say, I believe, and it's in this case, it's not so much to do with the safety. It's more about out of these different qualities, if you will, what is the most relevant, to actually measure the impact of soil erosion, right? So, like, if we went through them, would anything about the water temperature tell us about soil erosion? All right, Victor, let's go 3 for 3.
So it is turbidity, and turbidity has to do with water clarity. So because a decrease in water clarity would imply that soil erosion soil is going into the water because it is less clear, and so therefore it indicates that there is an increase in soil erosion, which is what they're trying to measure because they're trying to measure soil erosion impact.
Thank you, sir. Yes, 100% on the button. Turbidity is a fancy word for, like it describes cloudiness or haziness in water. So that is the most relevant thing to study in this case, right? Because soil erosion, it could change pH level, but probably not significantly enough, like for the purposes, like it wouldn't say anything in a study. Nutrient levels, again, perhaps, but and definitely not water temperature, right? So yeah, the most relevant quality to study here is turbidity. So go Victor, 3 for 3. And again, it's good to get the right answers on the quizzes, but yes, what we're really practicing here is what your colleague was demonstrating, in that we want to be able to like explain our answers too, right? We want to understand the science behind it, because you never know which one of these questions might be an FRQ on the exam. All right, y'all, we can do it. An environmental engineer wants to examine the permeability of different soils to determine the best natural containment system to protect groundwater from pollutants. Okay? What's permeability?
Whether things can like go through.
Sure, yeah. Like the how fast water especially can drain through the soil. The engineer tests 4 different soil samples, places them into a wet column, and pours 50 milliliters of water over each sample. The engineer records the total amount of water that moves through the column, as well as the total amount of time for the water to fully percolate through the soil. The data from the study are shown below. So, question 1, which of the following best describes the independent variable in this research design? So, this is like all like data tables, right? This question is one of those that I've described. It's almost like designed to intimidate you or trick you, right? Like it's a very like unappealing question even to look at, but it's not even asking you anything about the results or the statistics, right? It's really just asking you what is the independent variable in this research design. So what are the results of this study dependent upon, right? And in this case, it would be answer A, the sample of material chosen as the potential container material, right? Because we're really testing the permeability of different soils. So that is the independent variable in this case, right? Does that make sense? A little bit? I'm not sensing a lot of confidence with this question.
The container material would be like the type of soil, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. So
So it's an experimental study, right? Like, experiment by someone?
yes.
Yeah. And
We'll come back to this one. But let's go through these while we still have time. Which of the following best describes why the engineer chose to calculate the permeability of the soil sample in the experimental design in order to evaluate a natural containment system to protect groundwater?
Groundwater is like, they refer to it as clean water, is it or no?
Groundwater is like exactly how it sounds. It's water that's underground, either from an aquifer, or just there's once you get deep enough, there's an area of water. What was it? Okay, and why C?
Because what the engineer wants is to find a soil that will be less likely to have like water or pollutants coming through groundwater.
Yes, perfect. So exactly what Angie is saying, you want to have the low permeability is so that it traps pollutants, right? So that they don't travel through the soil as fast. So that's exactly right. And yes, so the answer in this case is C. All right, y'all, we can do it. The last one is very related to this concept. So for the sake of time, since we're about to run out of it, it's sample D, simply because it's asking which of the following samples would be most prone to becoming waterlogged, which of these, based on what we learned, has the lowest permeability, right? Hopefully we remember that it's clay, right? So just based on that alone, we can look at this question and know right off the bat that it would be sample D. So thank you for your analyses. Thank you for thinking on that deeper level. Saved by the bell once more. All right, y'all, have a beautiful rest of your day. I will see you Thursday. Thank you for your questions and your thoughts, as always. Always feel free to explore your thoughts in this class.
Yeah, but like I don't like it. So if you want it, or I'll give it to you. I got this one like.
All right, bye y'all. Have a good rest of your day.